live. Hello and welcome to A Rich Girl. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have been talking about a lot of things over these last many months. You can find everything on YouTube under Suzanne Brothers Rich Girl, or of course, you can come to right where you're at on Facebook Live. It's a private page. So if you want your friends to be a part of this or hear some of the messages, topics that we talk about, and even see your comments, make sure that you invite them. And of course, when I see their name pop up, I'll accept them into this group. So this is Facebook Live and it is called Rich Girl. This particular topic today is part of last topic. I got to itch my nose. Oh, I hate that. We have to do something live. Oh, itch my nose. Okay, this is going to be live, of course, but you can also get it at any time, really. This subject has been super fun to talk about, and it is part two of love languages. And in thinking about your own love language, here are just a couple of tips. The thing that you most often request is likely the thing that you want. So to make you feel loved, of course. And your own method of expressing love can be an indication that that is also what makes you feel the most loved. So people always have a tendency to speak their own language. Have you noticed that? Of course, you speak your love language because that's the way you assimilate love. That's the way you understand it. So of course, that's what you're going to act out. Don't be surprised if you have a different love language for different circumstances, maybe in business with clients, customers, or whatever, at the office, or of course with your family, and then of course with your friends. Okay, so physical touch. We're going to talk a little bit about each one, and we're going to explore a little bit more. Feel free to just go crazy and put things in the comment. I think we're already started with that. Thank you. So we're going to talk about physical touch. Yearning to be touched is really basic. It's as basic as a baby. A new baby's need to feel loved. In fact, that's how they thrive. When babies are not touched or held, it's called failure to thrive. When in that case, babies on occasions have known to pass away. And that was one of the number one reasons why infants passed away, or they had fatal situations in orphanages, especially in Russia and Ethiopia, places like that. So not because that they were not fed, but because they were not held. I mean, it starts that young in our bodies, the need to be touched. Our failure to touch during a time of crisis may never be really forgotten. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of this, maybe just a little bit crazy and off, but here we go. So I love my head massaged. I mean, it is a total relaxer for me. If I could get my husband to massage my head, oh my goodness, I just love it. But if I massage his head, he can handle it for about 1 minute and then he's done. What feels good to one person doesn't necessarily feel good for the other. So ask for their feedback. If the other person doesn't like it, okay, you guys, stop. Don't do it. Don't keep going. Don't keep going thinking that they will start to like more of what you are doing. Probably not going to happen. Okay, this language is not localized to just one area of the body. The physical receptors are very much alive and going in all parts of the brain on this one, because it sends a direct message to the brain. Yeah, a happy message, hopefully. Okay, keep that in mind. If the other person, though, got to tell you, if the other person is in a bad mood or they're angry, this is not the time to touch, usually. Okay, usually. Because that person, if we're trying to touch them when they're upset or whatever, they may see it as control. Mhm. So different ages allow for a really different type of touch. Like, think of this like a 10-year-old boy at the end of a basketball game. It's much different than a 17-year-old boy at the end of a varsity match. Gotcha? Okay. My kids loved me to hug them all the time. They still do, but not in public or around their friends. And they loved it like it was okay when they were about 9, up to about the age of 9. And then they got real private about it. And then they got embarrassed. So even though they loved me to hug them, and I still do, there's just, you probably found the same thing. They kind of want to distance themselves at a certain age. So physical presence and accessibility really are crucial. while neglect or abuse can be seen as unforgivable and even destructive. So, physical touch, I wanted to start with that one because I think that one of the love language is probably the most misunderstood. What do you guys think? Okay. All right, let's talk about quality time. And I think I see Jennifer's on. So Jennifer, you can comment anytime about what we're talking about. I know love languages is something that has been around for a long time, and I really wanted to revisit it because I feel like our world needs it, and all relationships can be improved. You probably see a couple of little posters I've got in the back of my head right now. Let's talk about quality time. Quality time is all about giving someone else your undivided attention. This means going to do something sometimes, going to do something or maybe not, but it does mean that there's no distractions. It's also quality conversation and focuses on what you are hearing. So listen, ask questions, avoid giving advice. Keep in mind that distractions or even postponed dates to get together or failure to listen can be especially hurtful to that person whose love languages is quality time. Our cell phones are the biggest killer of this love language. Each time we reach for our, even if it's like a mega minute, or we look at our phone, that breaks the quality time and puts a real dent on that person feeling significant, the one that we're spending time with. So if my husband and I are together and we're going someplace, we're going to have dinner, whatever, oh my gosh, you guys, I better not look at that cell phone while we're eating or doing something because it is a total turn off to him. And I can almost instantly see it in his body language, showing some irritation. And then I can really testify that that's the way he feels because then the conversation completely shuts down. Yep, not good. So shut off your cell phones and put it away, and you'll see a lot of payoffs with your spouse, family, friends, I promise you. In fact, it's just not a bad idea at all. Is when you have family or friends coming in your house, have a cell phone basket. Shut it off. Maybe have one person, if you have a babysitter, that person that's babysitting your kids, that they have the phone number to call in case of emergency, not five or six, especially in a social situation. Let's talk about gift giving because I think it's also one of the misunderstood love languages because gift giving is really not materialism. This gesture is of thoughtfulness. It's a selected effort that you put forth. It's a gesture that says, I see you, I know you well enough, I care for you. If something is done in haste or it's given a gift in thoughtfulness or thoughtlessness, actually, it can really be disastrous. In giving a gift to a family member, I said, this happened to me one time, I gave a gift and I said to him, I don't have time to wrap this. I'm so sorry, but here's your gift and I hope you like it. Well, the look on their face said everything. Instead of feeling that this was a gesture of love and caring, they saw it as being an afterthought. The time that would have taken me to put that gift in a gift bag and then presented it with great words of affirmation, such as, I got this because I know you love the color orange, and it just screamed your name to me. So here's to a happy, and you wear it so well for spring, and then give the gift. That would have made miles of difference. So keep in mind that gift giving, along with words of affirmation, are a great combination. Okay, yes. Remember that the gift needs to be thought out. It can't be just something you wanted. And maybe you know what I'm talking about. Your husband gives you something that he wants, or a friend or whatever. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's go to acts of service because acts of service is really one of the top ones, as well as words of affirmation. So we're going to cover that. Okay, you ready? Here we go. All right, vacuuming the floor. Oh my gosh, what could be better? Getting me a glass of water. The words, let me do that for you. Okay, the words, let me do that for you. Anything that eases the burden or the responsibilities or the weights, acts of service, person feels volumes when you do something for them, even if it's as little as getting them a drink of water. A couple that I read about that were in therapy, their marriage was crumbling, and both people in the marriage didn't feel the love of their spouse. It just was not flowing. They were not speaking each other's language. And what was happening is, after having such an empty love tank for so long, they really started to resent one another. So the husband complained to the therapist that he did all this work when he got home. He worked all day long, and then he came home and he worked for long hours. And he had a lot of chores that had built up around the house. So, because his wife wasn't doing them, so he felt obligated to do them. So he would do that, stay up till late hours trying to finish this work. This went on for years, and he was tired, he was irritated, and he especially was resentful of the situation. And he said his wife didn't seem to appreciate all of the work that he was putting in. Okay, you guys know where we're going with this, right? Okay. And the wife, on the other hand, okay, let's give her a fair time here. The wife complained that she was always trying to get him to talk, and he was always just way too busy for her. He was always working, and then when he was working, he was coming home and cleaning the garage or working in the house somewhere else. He was never available. She said he never spends any time with me and doesn't seem to want to. Okay, you guys get this, right? So the husband was truly astounded when his wife revealed that she did not feel loved. Okay, we can see it plainly, right? But when you're in a situation like that, you may not see it as plainly. So he answered with, "All I tried to do is show how much I love you." To his wife, he said this: "By all the things I do, and the family, working hard all day, and then helping around the house until we go to bed." But the wife revealed that all she wanted, you guys, was 20 minutes every day where he wasn't working or distracted, and just be with her to talk. She probably would have taken 20 minutes in a week. Just to know that she was important here in his life. She had so many things that she wanted to share and just did not feel important or valued enough for him to give her that time. Okay, once they finally figured out how to speak each other's love language, of course, everything changed for this couple. When the question I would ask is, when is the honeymoon over? It's the little things that start to make a dent in a perfect spouse, in a perfect marriage, or even a perfect relationship with a family or a friend. It can be too busy doing the other things of life, or missing the little things like a goodbye kiss, or being excited to hear from them when they call or when they walk in the door. Does your face light up, happy to see them? The long talks that you used to have, can you bring those back? Doing chores together rather than separately, being in the same room together. Trying to do two different activities to save time is not always the best choice. And you know what I mean by that. When you've got a very busy family, lots of things going on. I know I've done this multiple times. Okay, honey, you go do that and I'll go do this, and then we'll meet in the middle. We did it all the time. But is it really the best use of your time? We can get caught up in settling in one type of expression. Okay, settling, like always showing this type of love to our spouse or family or friends. This is the way we express our love. So I'm going to suggest that you mix things up. Get a variety of things. Be creative. The object of love is not getting what you want. It's doing something for the well-being of the one that you love. Okay, words of affirmation. This is the one. This is the one that a lot of people really, really react to. And remember, you've got a primary and a secondary. So if this is yours, okay, listen up. Acts do not speak louder than words for this person. If this is your love language, an unsolicited compliment means the world to you. Hearing the words, "I love you," are important, but hearing the reason behind the love sends your spirits absolutely soaring. So insults can leave a shattered person behind. I mean, they can shatter like crazy. And in fact, criticism is lethal. So words of affirmation, if there's a critical tone in our voice, you guys watch that, because this is this person's love language. And our tonality, what we say and how we say it, can raise them up, and they can go they could go at a compliment for a month. All right, things like, "You did a wonderful job with making dinner tonight. It seems that you do it with such ease and confidence." Okay, great way to give a compliment, right? a specific thing. Your hard work for our family is teaching our kids the importance, and there's nothing that will ever replace your example to them. Okay? Again, a compliment, very specific. Okay, all right, you guys. Now I have a couple of questions for you. Are you ready for this? Hey, and thanks for suggesting some things, Jennifer. Thanks, appreciate it. Okay, so here we go. What are some of the ways that you show love and appreciation to your spouse or family members that is different from your own love language? Okay, so how do you express it? That's different than your own love language. How will you know? This is the second question now. Second question, how will you know if you are showing the correct language to your spouse or family member? How will you know when you're not? Okay, how will you know when you've hit it? And how will you know when you're not? Okay, next one. How does your spouse or family member show or hint to you, hint, like hint, hint, of what they want? Okay, next question. How could you encourage your family member or spouse to speak in your love language? Okay, that's the one you want, right? How can I encourage my families to show me love in the way that I perceive it? Okay, you guys, it's all about us, right? So I have an assignment for you. Here it is. Give and it shall be given. Look for the ways that people in your life respond to different kinds of love communication. All right, you guys, if you look for it, you're going to find it. But look for it. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Be patient. If there's a lot of distraction, that's going to be tough. Or if there's already a lot of distance or trust has been violated, it's going to take some time to return to that place where your spouse or you may even trust them in sharing a love language together. Okay, ask in a loving way for what you would like to receive and why. Inform the people in your life how you receive love. Okay, how does that sound? Well, it could be something as simple as, oh, my daughter, thank you so much for giving me a card for Mother's Day and being so specific on there what you appreciated about me. I want you to know I'm going to cherish this card and I'm going to read it every time I feel down. Thank you so much for your words. Okay, you guys, you got it, right? So here's a couple of quotes you saw in back of me and then we'll wrap this up. I'm not sure about next week. Okay, so let's fast forward for a second for next week when we're recording. I need to get a little feedback from you if you want to stay on this subject a little bit longer, because we could do more examples if you like. We can talk about how this equates to our business, our customers, our associations, that kind of thing. So, okay, we'll think about that. Quote, whenever the emotional climate of your marriage, or really any relationship, it could be better. Whatever the emotional climate of your marriage is, it could be better. Okay, feeling loved enhances our sense of significance. Feeling love enhances our sense of significance. Okay, next quote. In the context of marriage, if we do not feel love, our distances are actually magnified. Okay, you guys, we've had a really great session today. Thank you all for being on Rich Girl. Okay, and thanks for listening. Please share this with your friends. You know, if we can make a better world by having a lot more love, better relationships in our life, oh my gosh, this can spread everywhere. Hey, happy day to all of you. Thanks for joining me today on Rich Girl.